We're at full operational temperature, chiller only, 24 degree fluid temperature, 108 degree day, stage 1 chiller kit, getting very nice and icy. Hey guys, Kirk from Forced Induction Inner Chillers here. I want to introduce you to our Hellcat plug and play kit. What we've done here is we've made CNC fittings specifically for the Hellcat. This will simply plug into the AC condenser. This one plugs into your liquid line. We've also made this T-piece here so you can relocate your high side pressure sensor to our T-piece. What that does with this solenoid, when you go into chiller only mode, you're actually cutting off refrigerant supply to that high side pressure sensor. So being able to relocate it there ensures that the AC system continues to run and it runs at full displacement. You can control the solenoid here by this simple LED on-off switch. Now that allows you, the solenoid and the switch allows you to run in one of two modes. You can run in cabin and chiller mode at the same time, or chiller only. Now in chiller only mode, you'll use that at the racetrack, and cabin and chiller, you can use that on the street. And we do not affect the cabin AC. I'll show you that here in a minute. Every kit comes with mounting brackets, caulking tape so you can insulate your AC and water fittings. On our chiller core here, we've got specific AN12 water fittings, so these will not leak. You guys will be familiar with these on fuel systems. Now here on our suction line side of the chiller, this is an AC fitting. It's all part of the core. It's not welded to anything. It's done properly the way everything should be done. Now every kit comes with a t-shirt, stickers, all the hoses pre-made, so you can simply bolt this onto your car. Most importantly, it comes with this USB stick. On here contains step-by-step photo and video instructions. Really nice, easy to follow. Simply bolt this all onto the car and away you go. Everything's done for you here. Just bolt it on and go for it. All right guys, I want to show you that we do not impact the cabin AC. It's 108 degrees and it's about to thunderstorm. Our fluid temperature is 41 degrees and our vent temp is only 45 degrees. All right guys, 108 degree day, chiller only mode, and a 24 degree fluid temperature. All right guys, we're at full operational temperature, chiller only, 24 degree fluid temperature, 108 degree day, stage 1 chiller kit, getting very nice and icy. As you can see here from the front of the car, you cannot tell that the chiller is fitted in any way. If we open the hood here, fitted with the factory airbox, and our suction connection is underneath there, all nicely tied in. Stealthy install, cannot be seen, looks completely stock. Okay guys, different day here today, 87 degrees outside, cruising along 50 miles an hour, 24 degree fluid temperature, and the IAT there is at 60 degrees. Now, we do know from the thousands of cars that we've done that the true intake air temperature is generally about 10 to 18 above the fluid temperature. On the Hellcat, the IAT sensor is actually placed in a dead air location, and I'll prove that to you here in a second. So when I edge into boost, just slightly, you'll actually see the cold air will blow across the sensor and cool that IAT down. All right, so here we go. See how it's dropping? Then I get off it again, and it goes up. Now if I'll go a bit more. You see? So drop down to 55 there. Now, like I said, the IAT sensor placement on the Hellcat is in a heat-soaked location and it's in a dead air location, so the sensor doesn't exactly read true, but when you go into boost, that's when it matters the most. Now, what we do know is every 5.4 Fahrenheit that you reduce your intake air temperatures, you're actually gaining 1% oxygen density, and with ignition timing, that's worth 1% more power as well. So the gains are very significant here. Okay, so we bought this car for R&D purposes to make this kit for you guys. see what it does. All right, guys, that was an awesome wide open throttle pull that we did there. 24 to 26 degree fluid temperatures. And then at the end of that wide open throttle run, the fluid temperature was only 30 degrees. Now, so that means we've got 30 degree fluid entering that supercharger for that entire time that we're under that wide open throttle. That's resulting in really cold intake temps. Now, though, we're going to explain why you need a reservoir. Okay guys, so there's a couple of different reservoir options and there's a couple more coming out soon that we're aware of as well. Now, what that does for you is it buys you fluid volume, which buys you time. So currently, the fluid capacity in your intercooler system, it probably does one full lap of the system every 2 seconds. When you add a reservoir, that's going to buy you 30 to 60 seconds worth of fluid volume. So what that means is when you got that 24 degree fluid temperature in your system here, you can go wide open throttle for, usually you're only doing it for 10 or 15 seconds, but you're going to have 30 seconds worth of 20 degree fluid. So when you do go wide open throttle, you're going to have a constant 20 degree fluid entering that supercharger and keeping those IATs down as cold as possible. Now that also means with a reservoir, you have a much faster recovery time because as soon as you get off the throttle, you've still got 20 degree fluid rushing through that supercharger, cooling it straight back down again. All right guys, we're cruising along 50 miles an hour, cabin and chiller mode, 44 degree intercooler fluid temp, our vent temp at 42 degrees. So cabin AC, not affected at all. Very nice and cold in here, and the car's at the ready. Any horsepower you need, it's there. Now we expect you to see a minimum of 50 rear wheel horsepower on a 75 degree day and 80 rear wheel horsepower at a minimum on a 95 plus degree day. The gain is higher on a hotter day because the retention of horsepower is higher versus what a heat exchanger is. So that's why your gain is actually higher, because when you have a heat exchanger on a very hot day, you have a higher loss. This car comes out with 707 horsepower and on a 95 degree day, it's not making 707 horsepower. But now with the chiller, you'll be up around, 760 horsepower every day of the year, regardless of the outside air temperature.